Welcome to Fun and Games Side Quests. Every episode is a different host sharing a video game they love and why they love it.
Hey there, Fun and Games Pod. It's Aaron with Super Ghost. I'm one of the four hosts of Super Ghost, formerly known as Super Pod Saga, which is just a weekly, basically chat sesh where me and Greg and Jerry, with Jerry having done I think two side quests now. He did one on Goemon for sure, but yeah, we get together once a week to chat about what games we're playing, chat about what shows we're watching, or to just gab about whatever the heck we're doing pretty much. And it's pretty wild. Probably, if not just as wild as Superpod Saga, or if you know us by that name, come check us out by the new name. Pretty much the same thing. Anyway, yeah, so I'm here today to talk to you all about Grandia II, a game that I didn't grow up with or anything like that, but it's one that I discovered pretty much just by accident, kind of, I guess. So the HD collection of Grandia 1 and 2 came out for Switch back in, I don't know, 2019 or something. And I started by playing the first game. Then I was like, this is great. Like, I got pretty far. Like, I love the battle system, which I'll get to in a little bit. And I loved the story and how it kind of seemed like every town you go to was like, I guess, like a different arc of the story. I don't know. Anyway, we're not talking about the first one. So got far in the first one, didn't beat it. I was like, this is cool, but you know what? I kind of want to dip my toes into the second game. And I did. And immediately I was blown away. Holy shit. By, first of all, the visuals. One thing about the Grandia series that I really, really love is if you go into a house or a building, or not a building, sorry, a house or like a shop or an inn or pretty much any building you find, you go inside, it all feels totally handcrafted. Like the developers or whoever handles making the houses and the interiors of the houses, I should say, the interiors look very handcrafted. Like there's objects placed in deliberate places, and like I guess like the houses and the inns, they feel lived in, which is something you can't say of a lot of RPGs, because I feel like most RPGs you go into a house and it'll be like a one or two bedroom house, pretty much, like one room being the kitchen slash possibly bathroom slash living room slash whatever room, and then you have just the one bedroom on the side with like everybody's beds in that room. Probably the biggest offender of that is like Pokemon and shit. But anyway, yeah. So Grandia and Grandia 2, you'll have these pretty big houses. You'll have objects placed on counters, like food, a spatula, I guess, hanging up on the wall. It feels like someone lives there and someone like decorated the house the way they wanted to live in there, if that makes any sense. Like they decorated the house the way that you would think the NPC lives. I don't know. It's just OCD brain latching on to all these small details that really don't matter. But yeah, the visuals, right? So outside of the houses, the character models are incredibly detailed. Like this game initially came out in 99 on the Dreamcast, 98 or 99, I forget, but the character models are crafted with so much detail, I guess, like all the little details, like the rings or buckles or whatever on their outfits, or like the uh one of the characters, Elena, she has these pom poms attached to her dress that have these translucent bits of like ribbon or something. I'm not sure, like bits of translucent cloth, I guess. And just like every little tiny detail down to, like I said, the rings and buckles. It's all like rendered there and looks great. Granted, like the graphics are like they're kind of chunky, like very early Dreamcast looking shit, but it's good. I love that look. I really love that look. And if you compare it to, say, like Final Fantasy X on the PS2, the character models, like their bodies and their legs and their arms, they all look just like smushed together and muddy, and just kind of feels like, whatever. Just give them good faces and make everything else kind of just eh. But with Grandia 2, it's more like we want everything to look as good as goddamn possible. And I really, really love the characters. Like, But you have Mereg, this big lion-like guy who carries around like a spear or an axe. I forget what it is, and he's just got this gruff, like cold personality. And then you have Ryudo, the main character. Okay, so enough about the characters. I need to gab about this combat system and just get it out of my system before I get on to anything else. The combat system is just probably my favorite of any game, to be totally honest. Like, as much as I love Final Fantasy 9, that's my favorite game of all time, Final Fantasy 9. As much as I love that game, the combat system doesn't come anywhere near as good as the one in Grandia 2. So it's almost a mix of like a strategy game with just a regular turn-based RPG. So at the beginning of a character's turn, you can pick attack, you can pick a spell, guard, evade, make him run over there, do whatever. But a big thing with this game is, I guess, distance or space between you and an enemy. So like, instead of each character or enemy having their own separate turn within the battle, instead of that, there's a timeline on the bottom of the screen. And when you select an action for that character, everybody's timeline rolls at the same time. So you can't just like do that character's turn, make them do a spell, and have them do it all in their one turn. I guess not so much like distance. Time is a big factor in this battle system. So like, yeah, everybody's timeline moves at the exact same time. So everybody will start at the beginning of the timeline, and then they'll progress to a point where they select their actions, and then it all moves into the act phase, to where you and the enemies, you'll all run around and attack each other. When you have a character do a spell, they don't cast it right away. They'll have to sit there and charge it for depending on what level the spell is and how good they are with magic. It could take a while. Could take them just like, the snap of your fingers, and they'll do it. They'll get it done. But yeah, when they're sitting there charging it, they're totally vulnerable to attacks. So if an enemy comes up and attacks them, it'll delay the spell for a good amount of time, or it could even cancel out the spell. That's another thing too. When you do your basic attacks, you have the option to choose between a combo attack and a heavy attack, or I think it's called a critical attack. And when you do the combo, essentially that does like one, or well, I shouldn't say one. It'll do two or more attacks in a chain. And when you're doing that, the enemies you're hitting, they'll be delayed by a little bit. So you can have one character run up, do a combo, kind of slow the enemy down. Have another character come up, do another combo, slow them down even more. Or in the case with the critical, if an enemy's charging up a spell or another attack, you can essentially just cancel out their turn. If you time it just right, have a character run up there, do a critical attack, cancel out the enemy's turn, and then boom, save yourself a good amount of time. And when an enemy comes in to attack, or you see them charging up a spell and you anticipate that it's going to do a shit ton of damage, you could just be like, okay, well, I'll just have everybody defend. And defending actually makes a huge difference in this game, because like I mentioned, in the case of like time and distance, that the two biggest factors in the battle system. Say if an enemy's charging up a spell and you don't think you're gonna get there, you're not gonna get there in time before they launch the spell to be able to cancel it. You can just have everybody defend, and I guess just soak up maybe like half the damage. Yeah, they would take like half the damage if they defend. When an enemy starts charging up an attack, you can tell pretty much what it's going to be. And say if it's going to be like a close range attack, or like an enemy is right next to you and you can anticipate them hitting you with their own combo or charging up a spell, and it's just like close range or something. You can select evade and have your character run out of that spot and far enough away to where they won't get hit. Or say if an enemy is running at one of your characters to attack them, you could have that character, instead of just defending and taking damage, you could select evade, have them pretty much run away and waste the enemy's turn. Because another thing too is each character and enemy, for that matter, can only move a certain. They can only move a certain amount of, I guess, feet or whatever. They have a certain amount of space that they can move around in before they get tired, and you'll see them the sweat. They'll be sweating, basically. They'll be sweating, and then you'll tell like they're tired, they can't go on. That's the end of their turn. So yeah, you can waste a turn that way. There's just it's real dynamic, and there's a lot of really fun ways to tinker with this battle system, and it's so good. And then another thing too is you can really tinker with your characters and tweak the crap out of their play styles. Like um, when you're not in battle, there are different like skill books you'll pick up, and each skill book is for I guess like a different aspect, or like you'll get a skill book for like a thief, or one for like a warrior or swordsman, another one for like a wind mage or something like that. And if you have a character learn skills from that skill book, it'll be, well, I guess the skill books will contain skills like +3 to max MP, or like resistance to this element, or like +15 attack, or maybe like they'll learn this ability. And yeah, there's different mana eggs that you can have characters learn different types of spells from. Like I forget the names for each. Each egg basically contains one or two elements, and you can equip an egg to a character to have them learn spells of whatever elements correspond to that egg. And yeah, it's cool, man. Yeah, you could customize Elena to be like a battle mage. You could have her be just like a regular, water magic using healer. Or I guess that's another thing on top of everything, is that each element kind of specializes in something different. Like water is mostly, ice and healing and all that. Um, Lightning being about speed and, of course, lightning magic. Fire is fire magic and I think like attack boosts. Earth is like, of course, earthquakes, but I think they do like defense up and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, you could have certain characters assigned to certain elements to do certain things. I don't know. It's a thing, man. Yeah, go play the game. It's a great game. Yeah, Grandia 2, and the story is also kind of interesting. It starts off like just a usual, I guess, religious iconography type of thing, where you're escorting Ryudo is escorting Elena to something I forget, and or he's escorting her to like a church or something like that, and then Ryudo's like, "Hey, something is up with this shit. I don't think so," and he jumps in and then stops the whole thing. And they basically go on this journey to stop this god of darkness, Valmar, from resurrecting and destroying the planet. And you'll go around to different towns and collect different parts of Valmar. And each time you do, Elena will gain a new ability. And goddamn, that's another thing I forgot is Elena. Sometimes she'll, I guess it's when she's sleeping or something, she'll turn into this like not evil character, but I guess this like anti-hero Millennia. Millennia will learn new abilities as you collect more parts of Valmar. Like when you get the mouth of Valmar, she'll learn an attack that eats enemies and absorbs HP. There's a bunch more. I forget what the rest of them are, but yeah, the game is really cool. I think it's probably the best RPG on the Dreamcast. I mean, yeah, some might say Skies of Arcadia, but that's okay. Whatever, man. So yeah, Dreamcast, or there's a PS2 port, but it's not that good. Don't get the PS2 port. But the HD collection on Switch, and I think it's on PS4 and Xbox now. You can get it there, or PC, whatever. Just go play it. And it's not that long either. It's roughly about 45 minutes. They're not minutes, hours. Jeez, 40 to 45 hours. It's great combat system, great characters, great visuals. That's it. Go check out Super Ghost at superghost.site. Thank you, Matt and Jeff, both of you fun and games homies. I hope you guys have a good day or something. This is Aaron, and happy gaming.
Do you find yourself playing older games and wishing that there were new discussions about those games? Enter Tales from the Backlog. Hi, I'm Dave Jackson, and on each episode, I'm joined by a guest to break down those games that may be stuck in your ever-expanding backlog. Each episode looks at one game in depth, focusing on mechanics, story, music, and other aspects with no spoilers until a clearly marked spoiler wall in the middle. If you've played the game, go ahead and climb that spoiler wall and enjoy in-depth story discussions, and if not, jump out when we warn you and maybe go play that game for yourself. We have over 100 episodes in the feed, everything from Disco Elysium to Tunic to discussion episodes about how to get into horror games, and if games actually need to be fun, or if they have more to offer. I guarantee that there's something in there for everybody. Once again, that's Tales from the Backlog, available wherever your podcasts are found.
CPOV. CertainPOV.com.